It started with a tweet, a single message, 10 words long, sent just hours before his death. The tweet read, "Continuing to move the game forward. Much respect, my brother." It was posted at 11:38 p.m. on January 25th, 2020. By the following morning, Kobe Bryant was gone. He was 41 years old, and for 20 years, he had been the closest thing basketball had to a god. What happened in those final hours, the church, the fog, the phone call, the hillside, is a story the world will never forget. This is the last 24 hours of Kobe Bryant. If you want to hear the story, please stay until the end, and please subscribe to our channel. Saturday evening, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 3,000 miles from his home in Newport Beach, California, the basketball world was making history. The Los Angeles Lakers were playing the Philadelphia 76ers in Kobe Bryant's hometown, and that night, LeBron James, the man who grew up watching Kobe, passed him on the NBA's all-time scoring list. On his sneakers, in black marker, LeBron had written 3 words, "Mamba for life." The crowd gave him a standing ovation. The PA announcer stopped the game. LeBron was too emotional to speak. "There's just too much," he told reporters afterward. "The story doesn't make sense. I am here in a Lakers uniform, in Philadelphia, where he's from." 11:38 p.m., Newport Beach, California. Kobe watched, and then he picked up his phone. He typed out a tweet, short, gracious, pure, continuing to move the game forward at King James. "Much respect, my brother." Hashtag 33,644. That hashtag, 33,644, was LeBron's new career point total, one more than Kobe's own record. He was proud, no jealousy, no ego, just a man who loved the game, celebrating what it had become. It was the last public message Kobe Bryant ever sent. He had no idea. Before 7 a.m., Our Lady Queen of Angels Catholic Church, Newport Beach. Most people were still asleep. Kobe Bryant was already at church. He and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, Gigi, arrived at Our Lady Queen of Angels Catholic Church in Newport Beach before the 7 a.m. Mass. It was their Sunday routine. It was who they were when the cameras were not watching. Father Steve Salat, the parish's Eucharistic minister, saw them that morning. "He was here before the 7 a.m. Mass," Salat said. "He was obviously in the prayer chapel before that. He was leaving around 10 to 7. They took communion together, father and daughter, side by side. Parishioner Henny Russell remembered something simple about him. When I give him communion, I have to put my arm and feet up like that to reach him." She smiled as she said it. He was 6'6". He was gentle. He was a man of faith. Bishop Timothy Fryer later said that Kobe always chose to sit in the back of the church, so his presence would not distract people from what mattered. He was not the Black Mamba that morning. He was just a father with his daughter at church. 8 a.m., Newport Beach. The day had a purpose. Gianna was a serious basketball player, not because her father pushed her, but because she wanted it. She was training at Kobe's Mamba Sports Academy in Thousand Oaks, about 50 miles to the northwest. That morning, she had a game. 3 other girls and their parents would be joining them. The Altobelli family, the Chester family, the Mauser family. They were connected through Gianna's team, the Mamba Ballers. The pilot, Ara Zobayan, was one of the most experienced helicopter pilots in Southern California. He had flown Kobe dozens of times. Kobe trusted him completely. The helicopter was a Sikorsky S-76B, a sleek, powerful machine. The kind of aircraft rich and famous Angelenos used to skip the gridlock below. There was one problem: the weather. 9:06 a.m., John Wayne Airport, Orange County. The helicopter lifted off. 9 people were on board. Kobe, Gianna, Ara Zobayan, John Altobelli, a beloved college baseball coach, his wife, Carrie, their daughter, Alyssa, Gigi's teammate, Christina Mauser, an assistant basketball coach, Sarah Chester, and her daughter, Peyton. They were all going to watch a basketball game, a kids' game, on a Sunday morning. If this story moved you, please stay till the end and drop a comment below. Where were you when you heard the news about Kobe? 9:20 a.m., circling over Glendale. The fog was worse than expected. Air traffic control in Burbank told Zobayan he was flying in special visual flight rules conditions. The cloud ceiling was dangerously low, and the visibility was shrinking. On the ground in Glendale, a man named David Ludmersky heard something strange. A helicopter flying unusually low over his house. He grabbed his phone and filmed it. He didn't know what he was filming. Not yet. 9:40 a.m., the final transmission. Zobayan contacted Van Nuys Air Traffic Control. Van Nuys, Helicopter 2EX, requesting special VFR transition. The controller told him the airport was IFR, instrument flight rules only. This meant the fog was too thick for visual flying. Zobayan asked permission to climb above the cloud layer. He was trying to get above the weather, find a path through. The controller acknowledged. 9:45 a.m., Calabasas, California. I'm going to climb up, to avoid the cloud layer, Zobayan radioed. It was the last transmission anyone on the ground would hear. 1 minute later, the helicopter plunged more than 1,000 feet into the hillside of Las Virgenes Road in Calabasas. It struck the ground at over 180 miles per hour. All 9 people on board died on impact. 10 in the morning, worldwide. First responders reached the site within minutes. Thick smoke rose from the hillside. A quarter-acre brush fire had ignited. News broke slowly at first, then like a flood. TMZ reported it first. Kobe Bryant dies in a helicopter crash. People refused to believe it. NBA players were mid-warm-ups at arenas across America. Coaches were called off the courts. Players wept openly in locker rooms. LeBron James was on the team bus in Philadelphia, heading to the airport with his Lakers teammates to fly home. A call came through. He would later say, "I didn't think for one bit in a million years that would be the last conversation we'd have." Just hours before, Kobe had messaged Sharif O'Neal, the 20-year-old son of his old teammate Shaquille, on Instagram. Just 2 words. "You good, fam?" Sharif answered around 11 in the morning. There was no reply. There never would be. That evening, the Grammys went on as planned. At the Staples Center, Kobe's arena, Alicia Keys opened the show, saying, "We're all feeling crazy sadness right now." Lizzo performed through tears. Billie Eilish wept in the front row. Los Angeles Airport went purple and gold. The Empire State Building, the Burj Khalifa, every arena, every city, every country that had ever watched the Black Mamba play. Kobe Bean Bryant was born on August 23, 1978, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His father, Joe Jelly Bean Bryant, was an NBA player, and Kobe grew up partly in Italy, learning Italian, absorbing European football, and finding in sport a language that transcended everything. He was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in 1996, number 17 overall, and immediately traded to the Lakers. He was 17 years old. He never played college basketball. He did not need to. What followed was 20 seasons of something that felt less like basketball and more like RT. 5 NBA championships. 2 finals Most Valuable Player awards. 1 regular season Most Valuable Player award. 18 All-Star selections. 81 points in a single game against Toronto, the second highest single game total in NBA history. A 60-point farewell in his final game at 37 years old on a torn Achilles that had never fully healed. Mamba out. 2 words, an entire era closed. After retirement, he didn't disappear. He won an Academy Award for his animated short film, Dear Basketball. He started the Mamba Sports Academy. He coached Gianna's team. He showed up to games in the stands, animated, proud, completely in love with watching his daughter play. Friends described him as transformed, softer, warmer. He was the father he wanted to be. LeBron James would say, his voice breaking at a memorial service days after the crash, that he became probably the best dad we have seen over the last 3 years. The investigation into the crash concluded in February 2022. The NTSB determined that pilot Ara Zobayan had likely become spatially disoriented in the fog, meaning he lost his sense of which way was up. It was not a mechanical failure. It was the mountain and the clouds and one terrible, invisible moment of confusion. The Los Angeles Lakers won the NBA championship in October 2020 in a bubble in Orlando. It was a season like no other, in a year like no other. LeBron held the trophy in front of an empty arena and looked up at the sky. "This is for you, 24. Gianna Bryant would have been 14 the day her teammates played on without her. Her teammates still wore her number. They still played the way she would have played, fearless, fast, full of her father. Vanessa Bryant has kept his memory alive in every way she can. The Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation continues to provide youth athletes with the opportunities Gianna never got to pursue. Kobe Bryant was not a perfect man. His story had darkness in it, as all real stories do. But in the years before his death, he had done the hard work of becoming who he wanted to be. He was a father first, a coach, a storyteller, a man of faith. He left church with his daughter on a foggy Sunday morning, headed to a basketball game. Just a dad, just Gigi, and in those last hours, that's exactly who he was. Kobe Bryant's final tweet was posted at 11:38 p.m. on January 25th, 2020. 13 hours and 7 minutes later, he was gone. He left us the way he lived, passing the torch, lifting someone else up, moving the game forward. Mamba out. If this story moved you, please subscribe to Focus Flashback. Every week, we bring you the untold final chapters of legendary lives.